Hi, hello, my name is Pablo Leite. I'm a pilot with Emirates Airlines and also train Jiu-jitsu. I started Jiu-jitsu back in 1997 with Professor Fabio Gurgel in São Paulo. I was a juvenile by that time, and I just wanted to start because of the UFC and Royce Gracie, and like everybody else, it was amazing to see that technique working so effectively. Basically, it was a tournament in Boston. That was like the opening for me. I just wanted to go there, fight for a medal. I got a bronze medal and just made my day. I was so happy on the way back to Dubai. And after that, I started competing more in other major tournaments. And then unfortunately, I had a meniscus injury that put me on the side for a little bit. But when I came back stronger, mentally stronger. And then I fought the World Pro in Abu Dhabi, which I got third place. Was quite an achievement that I'm not saying not expecting, but it was a surprise for myself. And then at the end of the year, I fought the Europeans in Portugal. I won that, and that was a big step moving on. And after that, I've just been competing like in major tournaments. I got second place in the pants, and nowadays I'm number one in my weight class in the IBJJF ranking. So it makes me proud and just makes you push harder and harder for you to compete, and the dedication. That's a good question, because in a way sometimes you just look back and you're like, well, I wish sometimes I had a normal job from 9 to 5 so you could train every day, be at home every day, and just train jiu-jitsu and have a normal sleep pattern. But on the other side, like with the traveling opportunity, I can manage to travel and go all over the world pretty much and train. So you just open your eyesight, like in a way of training different academies and seeing different BJJ lifestyles, BJJ professor academies, meeting up new friends. And also what helps as well for the tournament is the benefits, the ticket benefits through the company, Like I know that I'm not sponsored by any major company or anything like that. So I know that sometimes it's very hard for people to pay from their own pocket to travel. It's a lot of effort you gotta put in. So definitely with the ticket benefits from the company makes it easier to travel and compete. Well, recently I had a few months of leave that the company asked me to have a kind of a forced leave, and I had this time off. Initially I was not very keen on traveling. I had no ideas on what to do. And then my wife said, you know what, why don't you go do something that you're probably not gonna have the opportunity of doing again? And why don't you go train jiu-jitsu? And then I said, go to your favorite academy. And I was being very curious about the Atos training, watching the videos. And Marcelo Garcia had been there a couple of times, but always on a short base. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna divide this period of off days and train over there. First I went to Atos in San Diego with Professor Galvão, Professor Leo Avila. And it was an amazing experience. I arrived there, they're having their training camp before the Worlds. And I was already training here, already in a good shape, but those guys, like, they're in a different level. I'm talking about the white belts competitors, blue belts, purple belts, browns, and the blacks. Is just watching them, it's so rewarding, It's people that you follow on the internet, people that you see in the tournament, and you're like, wow. And what they do in training is just unbelievable. And then I went to Marcelo Garcia. Again, I have no words to describe Professor Marcelo and his accomplishment. And it was a very good training, very rewarding being there. You learn from the source. A lot of times you go to academy and it's actually not the teacher teaching the class, but some instructor, which is fine. But you want to train with the professor, with the guy that you've seen. So with Marcelo Garcia as well, I had some friends over there like Marco Silva, Lequinho, Mateus Diniz, and they just basically took me by the hand, and they really took care of me there with the training, with the mental concept. Those guys are like professional competitors. They're like, so a lot of times you just need that extra mental work to take you to the next step. I would say it was Professor Fabio Gurgel. I started with him in São Paulo, and having the classes with him, having his mentality. He's very into work, like, you know, let's get the work done, and he's always there for his athletes. So supportive, and that's where I started. I mean, I have no words. Thanks to him that I'm here nowadays. Sometimes you just can start jiu-jitsu in a wrong academy, having the wrong concept, and that might put you off. You know, might not be what you're expecting, but yeah, thanks to him, I'm still here nowadays. Every time I see him, he knows me since I was 15 years old. I say thanks to him because I'm here. Yeah, jiu-jitsu, it's like some people put it out there. Jiu-jitsu is for everyone. You know, like I'm really proud to see sometimes in the mat people out of the normal life, like extraordinary people, like a mother that has kids, that has to take the kids to school, and she's training jiu-jitsu, and it's her passion. She's every day there. You have teenagers, you have kids who are there. People do like football, soccer, and different sports, but jiu-jitsu is always there for them. And we also have Steve at the gym. He's like 60 years old, and he's there training. And you have to do strength with Steve because otherwise you get all over you. And it makes me really proud to see those people, because that's people that I would like one day to be. I would like to be 60 years old and still training. And you see the dedication. So I'm really proud to have those people around you. Recently I had the opportunity to train in Atos, and I met Kyle Manard. If you haven't checked his video on YouTube and his accomplishment, it's just, it was really proud, and really, it was a special moment to train with him and see that his life is not affected, you know, like he doesn't have the upper body, like the arms and the legs, and he trains, and you know, like his mentality, his goals, like when he's aiming for something. And just to have the opportunity to talk to him, you know, it makes you feel so humble. And so it was really special to meet those people. And they serve as an example, you know, like when I step sometimes into the mat, I think about it and like, okay, what is my excuse today, you know? I'm excused that I'm tired, that I cannot do something. Yes, everybody can do it. Everybody, you see those people and everybody's making it happening. So for sure you can do it. I think should be a balance on tapping out. Like you gotta know like I said before, you gotta know your body. Sometimes you had a long night. You're not gonna be on your best shape of the day, you know. So sometimes you train in a way of using technique, and you're just going soft. The person might go harder, and you have to know when to tap. You don't want to be like forcing yourself to the limit. But the most important is like to prevent any injuries. You know, like jiu-jitsu is a kind of impact sports as well. A lot of positions, you know, you're like always on that edge, that like if you go a little bit more, that's when the injury happens. You don't want to do that. You want to be training smart, so you can go there every day. You know, like it's more important to be there like 12 months of a year than just being training 8 months hard and be another 4 months injury and like, oh, I wish I could come back, and sometimes you're not even healed properly. And you already want to force yourself to go back. That's when another injury happens. You know, like I'm telling this based on a personal experience. So you gotta know the right time to train, the right time to push, and the right time to sometimes, you know, just tap. And that also brings humbleness. You know, like you become humble, and there's no shine. It's not gonna make you a worse person or a better person of not tapping. You know, like you training, what happens in the training, in the gym, stays in the gym. And as long as you improve, as long as it's something that's gonna be beneficial for you, you know, like you're going for a tournament, then it's another story. Like recently, for example, in Marcelo Garcia, you know, they have the brown belt dream team with Marco Silva, Matheus Diniz, Jonathan, and well, Manch, Matt Dillon, lots of guys. I mean, they're like really good. And one of the concepts that Marcos was telling me is like to train smart. It's in a way of I cannot train the whole session with all those guys because they're gonna smash me, you know, like, and they smash me. So you're gonna like train in a way that you train with one guy, you get smashed, but then next training you go with someone that it's your your age, your belt, and then you do your techniques, you know, so you can make your game improve as well. It's a person that you have the chance of submitting. It's a person that your game can flow. And then again, you train with another of those tough guys. And then you're working on your defense. So training smart is not only like getting beaten, you know, getting beat by all those guys, 5 trains, and then what did you improve? You work on your defense, but none of the techniques that you like to do work because you don't have the time, you don't have the chance. So train smart is like, you know, do this variation of, okay, suffering here, but then you work there, you work with a purple belt, you do your technique is working, and then go back again with another tough guy, train, work on that, and that's how training smart goes. I'd like to thank, first of all, my parents, you know, like they've been with me since day one in Jiu-Jitsu. I was a juvenile, and they used to take me to my training sessions at Pablo, and they had to watch me training over there for 1 hour. And they've been the first one to incentivize me, you know, to motivate me, and also to criticize when they had to. So, and also nowadays when I go competing in all those tournaments in US, in Europe, they always come with me, and it's kind of becoming a habit of, after the tournament, we know we just have like a big meal, big feast, you know, like no more diet, and we celebrate. And just to be able to give them this, those moments, you know, to make them proud. I mean, I know they cheer a lot, and they, you know, in the fights I can hear them screaming on the side, and it's very rewarding to share this moment with them. I also like to thank my wife, you know, like she's a competitor as well in BJJ, and to have her help me daily, on a daily basis at home with my diet, with, you know, like the mental concept of fighting. And also to arrive home after a BJJ training and share with her like, oh, this is what happened with me in the positions, and sometimes we go to the gym, we drill, and we just help each other. And that's very good as well, like to have someone by your side who understands what you love, you know, one of your passions, which is Jiu-Jitsu, and she can help you with that. I also like to train my training partners as well. Jiu-Jitsu is not, I cannot accomplish all of this by myself, and just to have those guys push me in the gym every day and just make me go harder and harder with them, you know, like once we shake our hands, it's like crazy, it's a war, but after that, as soon as the clock ticks, it's, you know, like we're best friends, we hang out together, you know, we're always having a good time, and just really like to thank for everybody. And also the facilities that we have in Team Nogueira, you know, it's such an amazing facility. And we have the showers, the mat is such a huge space. And thanks to them, you know, you don't need to go anywhere for training. You have everything there, and you can do the whole preparation there. That's why Minotauro and all those big names, they even come to Dubai to do their camps, because you don't need to go anywhere. You have everything there. And I would like to thank as well for my recent trip to San Diego with Professor André Galvão, Professor Léo Dávila. Those guys received me with such an open arms, you know, like just I was one of them, part of their team. It was very, very nice to be training there. I learned so much with those guys. For me, I would call my parents, my wife, and I would tell like, wow, I just feel like every time I go training there, it's like a competition a day, you know, like those guys train really hard, and they're amazing techniques. It was really nice. And also in New York, I had the chance of training at the Marcelo Garcia Academy, and again, those guys are like monsters, you know, everybody training really hard. And again, after the session finish, you know, we go out, we have sushi together, I mean, those are like two reference for me in the sports. If you go to the West Coast, please go to Atos, and if you go to the East Coast, definitely with Marcelo Garcia. And I also thank Conflict Kimonos. They've been helping me since day one that they started, and it's very nice gis, very comfortable gis, and just like to thank you for all the support that they give. And finally, it's very nice for having me this opportunity to give this interview, and thank you very much, and all the best with the website. Hi, my name is Pablo Leite. I'm a brown belt under Team Nogueira. I got my blue belt with Professor Fabio Gurgel in São Paulo with the Alliance. And then I had to move to the US. I got my purple belt with the American Top Team with Professor Liborio. And then I had to move to Dubai. I moved to Dubai, and then I got my brown belt with Professor Rafael Halbert.